The second part of this tutorial, and the theme is Halloween ghosts, and we're gonna try and create this. We took this reference image and we got it up to here. This drawing, we're doing block coloring, and hopefully you got there so far. And I happen to have my daughter who's following along with this drawing, and she did one. You can see. I'll show it to you. This one. So she used a chalk brush. She likes to be unique, not follow, conform to all everyone else. Just likes to follow her own style. So this is what she got up to, and she used. You can see that she used free flowing strokes instead of doing blocky colors. She did free flowing strokes, and this is something we can do as well. So hopefully she'll keep adding to this. She's now following along to me, so you can see that looks quite interesting. And it'd be nice if you posted yours and we could all compare and see what the Halloween night brings to all of us, right? So it's all for fun. So what are we going to do? So I've got up to here. Now I want to see the original reference has got a lot of this free-flowing areas in this light area of this creature here on the ghost on the left, and we probably want to see if we can somehow get that free-flowing look. And I have an idea, and so first thing we're going to do is, before we do that, I want to get these curtains at the back. You see these curtains? So I'm going to try and get those colors. So let's now start working with this density setting. This density setting is essentially very similar to pencils with many degrees of gradients like HB, 2HB, 3B, 6B, 4B, 12B, yeah? But it's actually a way more versatile. So think of this density setting at the 100% setting to be the ink color, right? Think of the ink color, meaning that if you go over it again, you're not going to increase the tone or anything like that. But if you put it to 100%, you can make a few strokes till you reach the tonal value of this. This is excellent for shading and creating some kind of a gradient blending effect, okay? So let's take this down to 40%. Honestly, the only way you're going to learn, you can go and be academic about the whole thing, but honestly, the only way you're going to learn is through practice, having this app on your phone and doing it. So we got this, and then let's try this. Let's zoom in and select these colors and just pick a brush size, a small brush size. Let's say we start off with 40%, okay? And then I'm going to show you what it does. Basically allows you to blend. So I'm just blending. It's a form of blending, That's all it is. And let's see if it works. I mean, I haven't done it on. So I want to get this face right, so you can see if it works or not. So this is what I told you, that I'm now using longitudinal strokes, like what my daughter did earlier. She used strokes while I was using blocky methods of coloring, yeah? And then you can see, so I'm also got a smaller brush so I can really get into the details of this drawing. And then you can see if it is actually having the effect that we're looking for. Remember, art techniques are many. There are many art techniques, and there's no one way of doing it. I'm always picking these colors. There's a number of ways of doing it. And I want to see if this works or not. If it doesn't, I'll adopt a different technique. So I'm now using more sweeping strokes. and then it's still following the shape of that goat's head. Yeah, the ghost's head. I just want to see if this works. Not, you know. And if it works, then we keep it, and then we keep improving on it. This is really the only way you're gonna improve your art. If you don't experiment, if you don't want to go outside of your comfort zone, you're really gonna stay inside your comfort zone all the time. You're not gonna learn much, unfortunately, you know. So anything new is gonna be a little hard for you. The whole idea is that you should always experiment. So I want to catch this tail. You know, ghosts have got this streaming thing, right? This free-flowing thing, which, you know, my daughter managed to capture nicely. So let's see if we managed to do that. There, you can see it's sort of coming out now, isn't it? So we can carry on with doing this, right? And then we can take out this, and then just take these out, these spots of colors. What have we got here? We're going to enlarge. There. Seems to be working, right? I think it is. I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to go over it with the same brush, create that free flowing, and see what happens with the body as well, yeah? So we're just doing block coloring, but with a different kind of a stroke, right? It's not like I'm filling in the smaller localized area. I'm actually just going in a sweeping flow to get that sweeping flow of the ghost, which means they're sweeping through the whole room. You know how the real ghost in movies appear. They exactly appear like that, as though they're floating. You know, and that's how what we want to depict as well. Just try and do this first. Okay, and then we can go over it again if we've not got it quite right. There's no big deal. That's the beauty of digital drawing. You know, I had a question in Quora, which they said, what are the positives of digital art and what are the negatives? And there are a lot of positive digital art is that, you know, I was talking to someone, is that you don't need all these pencils and pens lying around. You can do pretty much all of this right on your phone. Just like sweeping strokes. That's all it is. Let's see how far we are. So now we got this free flowing, you can see it's much more free flowing rather than choppy. Okay, that's all we needed to do, and it seems to be working, and we can continue to improve on that. So you see, you always look at ideas, and thankfully my daughter's drawing gave me this idea to keep it free flowing, like, and then we can add all the elements of horror in this picture. Who knows, you know, I might come up with some ideas. So just keep going, the free flow. All right, just follow the think the settings I have seems to be okay. Not too worried about that. Sometimes you think that you have a color there, but it's actually a different kind of color. So we're just basically trying to get the elements of these ghastly creatures, not ghastly, but these ghostly creatures in our room, right? And we're trying to capture them like flowing through our room as though they are levitating. Okay, so just use the strokes to smoothen off the sharp edges left from the previous block coloring. So all we're doing is getting close to something that is smooth, because the ghosts are smooth, aren't they? Because they're white and they're soft and they go through walls. That's how they've always been depicted in movies. Let's see where we are. So remember what the drawing process I was telling you about. If we hadn't come to step 1 of the process in the drawing, we'd not be able to get to this step. So that's really essentially, in a nutshell, what the drawing process is about. So the drawing process, it's what its most unique artists follow in their own minds, but it's difficult to put it into context, except when you do digital, you can put in context because you're using the same exact platform art medium that I'm using, a phone, and the same app, the same settings you could use, 14% and 2.5% brush size, right? Let's see how it's coming out. Yes, much more better, isn't it? Like free flowing, like they're really floating in the sky, isn't it? Floating in the air. Just continue to use this free flowing shape and use these strokes, which are very like sweeping strokes, isn't it? So remember, I've got the cursor position above half, which means that I'm still, when I use the color picker, I'm able to select these tones and then just may take advantage. Instead of relying on the tones that I have, I'm still relying on the tones, color tones of the actual original reference image. That's all. Look at this area, it's a little harsh, so this is gonna tone it down. Yeah, like blend it. I'd give it a sweeping. Let's see what we have here. Okay, let's see what we have here. That's looking quite nice, isn't it? It looks like a person. And then what we can do, look at this, we can now see, I'm going to save this actually because, okay, I'm actually going to go here, draw. So I almost didn't save it. So now I'm going to keep smoothing the edges. Have you seen that? Seen this area? It's quite rough, isn't it? So I'm going to smooth that. Quite, not rough, but sort of jagged. That's the right word. Just do the sweeping stroke. That's all you need. That's it. Let's see what that looks like. It's looking good, isn't it? And then I could fill these smaller edges. Then what I can do, let's see if I can clear that up. This little tiny edges, where's you coming from? This is right on the edge, you see. And then just take these marks. Okay, we could now go even. Let's see. So we can now even go. Let's go here. So we can actually go and change. Don't like this still. Change the tone. Let's go take down 20% just to see if we can soften it even more. Okay, and let's take it up 4%. Okay, so let's see if we can soften it even more. Okay, I think we could do that. Yes, happening, right? Because these ghosts are really very light on their feet, aren't they? Let's see if we can soften it. Okay, stay close to my tones, right? Stay close to my drawing. I'm not doing any more. There. It's a bigger brush than before. You come to know more about this as you draw more and more. Managed to soften it, you think? Did that work in your opinion? I think it did. Let's try this. Alright, so this is the setting out, 16%. So you can see how the density works. It's like giving you another blending layer and softens the whole thing. Perfect, doesn't it? Let's pick some of this lighter tone and see if we can add it there, giving it more flesh. Yeah, there. See that? It's working, doesn't it? It seems to be working. There. This guy's behind him and is following the other guy. See if we can add a little bit of a lighter tone, bring it up here. That's what I did. Yes. So I think that's looking good, isn't it? So now let's go take that brush size to 50%, and let's do those curtains, the sort of remnants of curtains there. And I've got it at 10%, so let's see what happens. Yes. And like they're in some kind of a room right there. Seems to be working, isn't it? And let's take it all the way down, right there. And so now it looks like they're really floating. And now we can save this and decide what we're going to do for the next part of our drawing. Right, I'm thinking we should stick to our drawing, do away with, and let's get crazy with this, yeah? Let's see what we can do. So I've seen my daughter have those eyes. So I like those eyes actually. Let's try and see if we can create some eyes. So let's get a little crazy. How about some, because this is, let's look at this. We could easily adopt some black eyes or introduce some colors, and that could be quite freaky. If you look at her drawing, you see how she introduced the red color and gives it a freakish look to it. Do the same, couldn't we? So we could, but we're trying to make it look like it's realistic, you know, like there's some realism in there. Okay, so we could, no, I haven't softened this area actually. Take that down. There, soften you guys. There. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Let's see what happens if we add something close to this dark color, but a bit blacker, perhaps. See what happens if we try and, this is where you can experiment, yeah? Let's see what that looks like. Well, it's alright, isn't it? It's not too bad. And then we can do the same here. So it's not like looking horrifying, but at least it's got some kind of an eyes. Okay. And then what we can do is, that doesn't quite look like, so we're going to have to do this thing over right there, and then take this color and go, yes, and then let's see if we can do something really freaky eyes. It almost looks like it could be a gentle type of, don't overdo it, just create some shades here. Right there. And then what can we do here? We can, I like the shape here. Maybe we could do some wild, like a pumpkin type. Alright, so can we do that? What do you think? You know the pumpkins that you see? Alright, so let's increase that. They're beginning to look like a fairy tale type, but we want to add some horror in between there, isn't it? Let's see what that looks. That looks alright. And maybe add a bit of dark to that. And let's see if we're in the dark. No, we're not, so add a bit of dark. Wow. Look at that. That's really dark, isn't it? Okay, now add this. I don't know what these pumpkins have. Do they have like a... You know, they have this, isn't it? Let's see what that looks like. It's looking a little freakish. I'm reluctant to use colors, and maybe for good reasons. And let's see these. Reluctant to use color, but you can see you can really touch it up, and you can. I'm just trying to stick to these colors. Let's see if we can. Just do these little eyes. They're sort of staring at people. We don't know what they could be. You could make it out. And then we could do perhaps, I don't know what that is, but anyway, it could be, right? Maybe you can do some depth behind this guy. Well, it could be bats, isn't it? It looks like bats. But anyway, you know, you can see where you can go with this. Maybe we can add a big pumpkin here, right? Since we can add a big pumpkin here. Let's take it down. I forgot what these pumpkins look like. So we did the opposite. It looks like ghostly but spooky, something like that. Yeah. So can touch up on anywhere you see they could touch up on. No, that's a little too harsh. All right. Okay. I can hear my daughter shouting. Don't know if she likes it or not. Oh, shush. Yeah, It looks ghastly. Okay, there it is. It looks like two ghosts going through a full room unfilling thing. So please excuse me, my daughter is like going crazy. Okay, that was my daughter shouting, letting me know that how can you forget what a pumpkin looks like, you know? I think that looks like a pumpkin. It may look like a Star Wars character, I don't know. Probably does. But anyway, that's where the final image is. So I'm going to finish here, and I hope you can come up with something just equally fun, interesting. I didn't want to go over it too much because I want you to have some creative ideas as well. Paintology, there you are. So thanks very much for watching. This was a short one on the second part, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. I'll post the next tutorial tomorrow somewhere, and if you have any ideas for subjects to draw, do let me know, and I will hopefully see you then. So don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like and thumbs up, whatever, and also keep me interested so I can put your own drawings and everything, and keep me motivated and interested, including my daughter, of course. All right, so thank you very much, and see you soon. Bye bye.